Hey you guys, I've been wanting to do Royce to 5'9" Field Negro for some time, so when's there ever a good time, right? Let's do this.
You ain't been getting this money all your life. Oh, you forgot about the roaches and all the mice. Out here living an alcoholic rapper artist life. What happened to artist life? All of your kids is in charter school and you're starting to do everything in private. Maybe that's from all of the chartered flights. Make sure whatever you're doing's not in the dark. You know the shit is bound to come out eventually underneath all the lights. Rob a man, kidnap him, take him for all his rights. Degrade him all his life, rape his daughter, his wife. 9 months later.
Alright, so right off the bat, I already know if you see this, Royce is already teaching right now. He's educating. Look at this. This is knowledge. You know how hard it is to pick cotton? It's not soft. It's not like you have to have certain gloves because it's pointy. There's the cotton, the soft part inside, but the leaf parts are very like spiky. So you have to put your hand over it to grab the cotton out. Meanwhile, you get cut. So you have to wear certain kind of gloves, and you have to be fast. That is not fun labor. So what Royce was saying is, in the beginning, he says, oh, you forgot about, where you live, your humble beginnings. You're living a rapper's life. Rapper's life is, what you see in the videos. You see, lavish. And he said, I guess you got caught up in all that. He did the wordplay of the chartered plane, the charter school, the more upscale. I'm telling you, he's comparing when your humble beginnings to where you are now. He says, and you've forgotten the struggle of where that come up came from and who struggled for you to get there.
Later used the baby as piranha bait. We wasn't even allowed to pray, let alone read or write. People like Cube open them nose, and politically correct Negroes like you close them to keep your ice. Clap.
See that? He was talking about Ice Cube and Ice-T, and Ice Cube had done a track based on President 4-5, you know who he is, and that takes a lot of guts to do that. That's not something easy you can do because you will be investigated, you will be talked to. And he's saying, look at, all you politically correct, people out there who are making it harder for us to ask questions, for us to stand up and say something, just get out of the way. Let the real ones that are trying to figure things out, let us do what we're supposed to be doing. Just take whatever it is that's important to you and just move. He's saying, you don't remember, but it wasn't too long ago, you couldn't read or write, you couldn't pray, and that's true if you remember back in history. The plantations were in charge of vast amounts of people, and a lot of those people weren't even able to go to church. Some were, but a lot were not. I mean, you were considered a better person if you allowed people to go to church. And of course they kind of skipped over the whole part of you're the chosen people, coming out of Egypt. They skipped over that. They mostly stayed on being a good servant and, obeying your master and all that kind of a thing. And they didn't want you to read or write, because then that made you smart, and smart caused trouble. You might start asking questions.
They make you feel like they love you there. Your whole platform could swim with the fishes like Huggy Bear.
Your Maybach in your house is like that important that you won't move at all. It's distractions. That you won't say anything at all in risk of losing something. Right. You won't say anything on anyone's behalf at this point.
You ain't been getting riches your whole life. Oh.
I have to stop it a lot because Royce comes with so much wordplay, with so much conviction in his voice that you can forget easily everything that he's saying, and everything just comes together. It's not, you can't just wait. So what he's showing is, look, nobody's standing up and saying anything. You're not gonna say anything when you see all these great injustices. You're not gonna say anything. You know, he's making it blatantly obvious. All these atrocities going on, you know. He just said, you know, men have been robbed, women have been raped, kids have been, you know, what kids have gone through. It's just an ugly part of history. And he's just saying, wow. Okay. So he's bringing things up. He's not just sweeping it under the carpet. He's not dredging things up. He's saying, okay, I want to make sure that we're on the same page. I want to make sure that what I'm looking at, you're looking at, that we're looking at the same thing before I go on. He's checking to see who is with him, because that's what you do when you go into battle. That's what you do when you are, you know, like I said, when I lived in some really bad parts of town, you find out who's in your neighborhood and who's the real ones, who's going to have your back. You didn't waste your time making friends with somebody that didn't have your back. You're going to make sure that you had people that could scrap and had your back. You had those people's back as well. And you know, that's kind of how I feel he's going about it. He's like weeding out the ones that are going to stand up and say something. Are you going to stand up and fight? Or are you just going to be a wallflower?
Oh, you done forgot. The oven don't open on the stove in the kitchen to heat up the house because they done cut the heat off in your home, right? Okay. Now you thinking you living so far away just because you neighbors with Britney and K-Fed. Every artist in the game a phony. Fucking all the same thotties in the game since way back. And all the same thoughts in the game been giving the same top to the same guys in the game like one of sway hats. The plight of the miserable wasted talent. Only guys with the hits are the Tigers, Drakes, and Khaled's. Shit, this is what happens when your favorite...
So he's saying, oh, so you forgot about how you used to warm your home by opening the oven door. A lot of people, and probably a lot of people still do that. You know, people couldn't afford to warm their home, so they would just either turn on the gas stove to get the fire, or just open the oven. You know, I mean, it would just be fast heat. It's dangerous. They don't recommend that at all, but guess what? When you don't have money, you do that. And he's saying, so you just forgot about that. And he's saying, oh, because you're now moved over to some rich people, and you know those people all just kind of commingle with the same people. You know, they're snobby and they keep to themselves, and that's how money stays within money. He's like, okay, so you know he's basically just doing his research. He's showing that hypocrisy. You came from this, you're spending your money with this. Now that you've made the money, you're not putting it back in your community. You're spending it over here with these people who don't give a rat's ass about anything but themselves. Doing what these people are doing, and they're all just sleeping with one another. Oh, okay. So that's what you're about. Okay. Just checking.
Artists never get challenged. Your favorite fella from the NFL has been silenced. My dad said under no circumstance should a man considered a legend have nothing left on his deathbed. And any black man not willing to stand up for his own rights should lose the use of his right and left leg.
Now, I'm not going to be able to understand everything because there's things that Royce da 5'9", as a grown man, he would have to explain to me. Or even maybe some of you would have to explain to me, and hopefully you guys will. There's going to be things that I won't understand, but what my interpretation is this. He's saying the whole point his dad was making to Royce is there's no reason that a man who has worked so hard all his life should be buried with nothing. That means that he's been taken advantage of. That means that everybody's been pilfering off this man. That's no way to live. Instead of investing and doing what he was supposed to be doing, he had too many people, with their hands out or their hands in his pocket. So that's a sad thing. He's trying to motivate people. Hey, invest, do what you're supposed to do it the right way, so that there's always more. So that when a person dies, they have something to give for future generations. What else did he say? Oh, and then he said, and if a man's not willing to use, what did he say?
Considered a legend, have nothing left on his deathbed. And any black man not willing to stand up for his own rights should lose the use of his right and left leg.
So if you're a black man and you're not going to stand up and fight for what is right, not stand up, which he's been saying this entire time. If you're not going to stand up and use your voice, or stand up and use your legs for marches, or whatever it may be, to make your voice heard, whatever it may be, to do what is necessary to be heard, to fight for your rights as a black person, you shouldn't even have, then don't even have them. Then, might as well just be cut off. Because there's other people that would probably stand up that can't. He's trying to make a very vivid image in your mind. That's what's amazing.
They say I couldn't do it, so I went out and did it. They said they gave it to me, so I ain't asked for more. I stayed active every time a door slammed in my face, stayed at the door. I stayed knocking, I stayed rocking. I did it my way, without all the complaining and all the whining all day, like Kanye or Wale, for the validation of all the bloggers and all the...
There's the controversial. Okay, I was waiting for that, because a couple of people were like, well, what are you going to say about... Just let me get there. All right, so he's saying, look, I did it my way. I did it... People are... Okay, hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me hear it again.
Stand should a man considered a legend have nothing left on his death. I stayed active every time a door... They say I couldn't do it, so I went out and did it. They said they gave it to me, so I ain't asked for more. I stayed active every time a door slammed in my face, stayed at the door. I stayed knocking, I stayed rocking. I did it my way, without all the complaining and all the whining all day, like Kanye or Wale, for the validation.
Okay. That is the motivational part. So he's basically... The military has that tactic where they go in, they take somebody, they break them down. So that's basically what he's done, and now he's motivating. He's saying, look, this is what I've done. They come and they tell me that I can't do it, so I do. I can't do it, so I did it. They said, oh, I've already asked for some, so I'm not going to ask for any more. So I mean, that's just motivational. They say, or I stay at the door knocking, and I keep knocking, and I'm going to keep rocking. It's just the way that he puts words, the wordplay together, and the way that he paints this picture. It's just so, you can't help but feel that. You feel like hype, like you want to do something, and that's just the magic of it. At first he strips you, and then he puts in place like these core elements. Like, what are you doing? Because this is what I'm doing.
Of all the bloggers and all the same gay ass awards. Fuck y'all and all them gay.
And then here's his beliefs, because Royce da 5'9" is going to keep it real. And that's the other thing that I had missed. He's saying, look, I'm not here for all these awards, no. And we know who is one of his closest confidants is, and that's Eminem. And Eminem has felt that way for a very long time. It's very much political. And another thing that I had missed, a bar that I had missed of Royce da 5'9" is he was saying in here, as part of his motivational rhyming and rapping was, you know, they said I couldn't do it, so I did it. They're saying that I already asked for some, so I didn't ask for more. I stayed knocking, stayed rocking, and then he jumped to something else. Darn it, I don't know why it eludes me right now.
Without all the complaining and all the whining and all
complaining. And it's not like he was really dissing Kanye or Tory Lanez or anything like that. It's all he's doing is saying everybody has a different way of doing things. This is my way. That's it. It wasn't putting anybody like, oh, well, this is what, you know. No, he's just saying, look, they have their way of doing things. This is my way. I'm leading by example. I'm not leading by, well, let me write a letter to the editor or whatever. That's it.
all day like Kanye or Wale for the validation of all the bloggers and all the same gay-ass awards. Fuck y'all and all them gay-ass awards. We all living inside the same hell and we all willing to die to go to the same heaven, but we are lyrically not on the same level. I'm scribbling my killings down and sending them out like chain letters. I'm not here for the crown or Tory Lanez cheddar. I'm here for respect or else I'm willing to take off the belt and whoop a young nigga's ass with it like James Evans.
He's letting everybody know, look, don't get it twisted. Don't get it confused. I may be here educating you, but don't think that I'm soft. I may be here educating you, saying that I'm not here about Tory Lanez's money or the crown, but don't get it twisted. I'm about my respect. And if you think that you youngins are going to come up here and, you know, tell me a thing or two, see what happens. That's all. I mean, very clear, very concise. Keep it respectful, and you'll get respect. That's it.
That house Negro would look at you and say, man, you crazy. What you mean separate?
And then
Where is there a better house than this? Where can I wear better clothes than this? So is that house Negro. In those days he was called a house nigger. And that's what we call him today because we still got some house niggers running around.
Now this conflicts me. This has always conflicted me, and I wanted to do this track because this actually dropped around Black History Month, and I wanted to do this so bad, but I felt a certain kind of way because one, this is not my culture, and this is not my community, and I felt like everybody was going to maybe attack me on it, and I had approached and tried several times to see if Royce da 5'9", what his thoughts were, and you know, he's really cool about things. He's like, look, I've said all I have to say, and you know, if you want to speak on it, that's, you know, do your best. Luckily, I have a more open dialogue with Kid Vicious, and Kid is like, well, what are you gonna say? So I told him, you know, how I felt, and he gave me his, you know, critique of things, and same thing, you know, keep it respectful. So of course that I was just like, whoa, can't get more of a blessing than that. That being said, not everybody is going to be happy about it, but at the same time, I didn't see a lot of people jumping to cover this, not just maybe because the bars are, you know, hey, this is some tough subject matter. It's not exactly happy. Two, it's a lot. This is a almost 6-minute track, and it's really important. A lot of people don't want to mess with that, so that's why I felt it was important. That maybe if they see more people reacting or speaking on it, other people will feel compelled. So that's my spin on how I feel. That being said, the confliction I also have is, in school, I always felt bad for the person who had to stay in the house because they weren't accepted by the ones that had to stay outside. The ones that usually got to stay inside were the lighter skinned ones, and those were usually due from the rapings that happened from landowner and the women slaves. And if you think about it, they didn't have it easy. A lot of the lighter skinned house Negroes, they got a lot of hate from the wives and the women. Sometimes they were even killed, and nobody cared. And they're always painted as the bad ones because they're trying to fit in somewhere. They're always snitching or telling on the field Negroes outside. So, you know, this piqued my interest in so many ways because I don't know how many of you have listened in class at these horror stories and what was being taught or told to any of you. And shout out to Harvey Dent, because hopefully he'll see this and maybe he'll, hit me up on the DMs in my Instagram or somewhere, Twitter even, it doesn't matter, or the comments here. But yeah, I think about those days in school learning this stuff, and just seems incredulous to me, but it happened. These things happen, and far worse. So
You only been living a small part of your life all the way up. Oh, you forgot about the home that you grew up in, where you were starving with nothing. When there was stripes on all the canned goods in your closets and cupboards, you grew stripes and you developed the heart of a hustler. My grind shot hard as fuck. I go back in time so George Washington carved for a nut. Plus, none of these artists can beat me. I'm Truman and Christ on the Noah's Ark on the waters of Fiji. I'm truly the type that'll push your wig farther than BC. Leave your brain.
he did some wordplay in there that I'm not too familiar with. He was talking about stripes on cans, and then he all of a sudden turned it into something like you put yourself into some kind of mental jail, and then he jumped onto I'll push your wig back further, and that kind of metaphor or slang is when you push somebody's wig back is like you just take them completely by surprise, out of their element. They're just like, what the heck did you just say? They're just blown away.
Brains all over the street, my heart's on my sleeve. Put my seed in the garden of Eden and start a new species, please. You know my steez, how you got a team and you ain't got loyalty. How is y'all the kings and you ain't got royalties? I've been around homicides since Marky D, Cool Rock Ski. You disorderlies, you know my steez. Children is dying, women is crying. We under attack, fool. What a better time to be famous, black, and impactful. Name something better to come together as one to react to. Should we?
What a wonderful time to be black, famous, and impactful. Just that alone. If you could just learn that alone and go forth and do better every single day, just that speaks volumes. I mean, it is so profound, and just the gratefulness for him to have said that, to be born now rather than 200 years ago. You know, how wonderful it is to be black, famous, and impactful, because he is. His actions, I've never heard anything bad about Royce da 5'9", whether or not he knows it. He is a role model for so many kids and young men, and just, I have not heard anything bad. Yes, he's had some addiction problems, but who hasn't? We don't hear near enough things bad about Royce da 5'9". And everybody nonstop talks about he is one of the greatest lyricists. That is really hard to be.
Still coming back from a checkered past like lumberjack suits. You play for the NFL, I just want to ask you. If you don't kneel with cap, it's simple math, can I run it past you? Niggas innovate, people penetrate.
Yeah, just right there. He said, lumberjacks coming back like checkered track suits. I think that's what lumberjacks coming back like checkered. To have a checkered past. Checkered past is to kind of have like a bad past, it's sketchy at best. It doesn't look so good. It's too many bars in this.
You play for the NFL, I just want to ask.
Talking about, Colin Kaepernick. What are you doing, If nothing else, what are you doing? What do you believe in? If you don't necessarily believe in what Colin Kaepernick is doing, what are you doing? That's how I take it.
Ask you. If you don't kneel with cap, it's simple math. Can I run it past you? Niggas innovate, people penetrate, exclamate off our inner hate. We oblige, so they make the richest. We don't rise, they just keep us high.
He's talking about, to me, what happened when there was widespread drugs in the ghettos. Instantly, when I heard those bars, that's all I was thinking of, how heroin was distributed, cocaine, in Florida especially. Why did they target that area? Why a certain race? Why? Keep you high so you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to go anywhere. Why fall for it?
Product of slave privilege, cop Ferraris to race a nigga. I'll do any job you can pay if I can make a living. Vodka straight, a whole lot of pacing, just so I can make a decision. Keep an honorable spirit with not a whole lot of faith to distribute. They took the scriptures away and replaced it after making their own racist revisions. They crazy.
What he's saying is, look, I don't want you to give me anything. I want to work for what I can get. I don't want to be handed anything. Just make it fair. Give me what it takes for me to make a fair living. That's it. That's what I'm getting. That is how he will persevere and how he will achieve. That makes sense. That is the kind of man that he is. But if you're not going to play fair and you're not going to let him achieve, what chance does he have? What chance does anybody have?
Crazy. Basically, they create shit just to play shit, to take away shit, to rig it. I'm pretty sure they maker is livid. They racist, they bigots. What's Christian about that? The fakeness is vivid, the paper is printed. They should wake up every day and pray to the nature of business. Fuck a Laker, I can never play for the Pistons at the expense of creating division. The wraith of exquisite, I'm about...
Wordplay at the end. I don't know much about sports, but you could hear the division and division with the basketball division and division. And before that, what he's saying is, when people control, just like how, shout out to Harvey Dent again, people who control, have the most power, they control what goes down in the history books. So how can anybody really win if it's always going to be those same racist people that are controlling the narrative? That's what, to me, that's what I'm getting. And I'm making it seem simple. It's really not that simple what he's saying, and you guys are probably getting a whole lot more than what I am saying. But like I said, this is not my major or my field. This is not something that I grew up from tiny till now. But I want this to go out there so that more people will speak on it. More people will be aware and want to do something about it and talk about it.
Visions. They crazy. Basically, they create shit just to play shit, to take away shit, to rig it. I'm pretty sure they maker is livid. They racist, they bigots. What's Christian about that? The fakeness is vivid, the paper is printed. They should wake up every day and pray to the nature of business. Fuck a Laker, I can never play for the Pistons at the expense of creating division. The wraith of exquisite. I'm about that paper, but it's gonna probably take me a minute.
Okay, and he's also saying that, yeah, the people that are, in charge, of course, what their most important thing is about is money. Just money. Everything revolves around money. Okay, fine. But my God, you're willing to do damage to your soul just for that money. The rates are through the roof for that.
Much rather be an atheist chasing my faith through a prism, assuming the information is real, than play for a racist with a racist agenda. I hate you niggas. About figures.
He's saying, look, I don't want to be around my community that is all about money and being racist, basically. I'd rather be an atheist who can chase faith even if it's through a prism. I mean, that's really powerful. That's how much he's saying that, you know, everything is so screwed up. But if you really, really have faith and you really believe, things are very clear. You can see the fake from the real.
The misappropriation of wisdom got you slaves to your own alienism. To pay a few bills. House nigga. I'd rather get hit with a Patriot missile than to be out here with you exhibiting patriotism. They say a broke clock is right 2 times, but it's never accurate. Truth time. Okay, if some of us don't have time, some of us have time, some of us performing at halftime, some of us boycotting halftime, some of us standing up, some of us sitting down. Reparations will never get back to us. They'll forever just laugh at us. I think I found a way for you niggas to face your truth. Go ahead and try to trace your roots. And that shit is rather miraculous. Them niggas took away the message and messed with the message in it, embellish it just to spin it, just to sell a shit back to us.
Get that? How in the world are you supposed to trace your roots when you were brought over here? How does anybody know where you came from? Not just that, when everybody was brought here and there were babies being born, a lot of times came from, you know, intermingling, and the landowners would rape a lot of the women, and those babies were taken. Nobody has account or records of who did what, or who was the mom or who's the dad. So let's just make up any old thing, but let's go ahead and sell it to you. Yeah, you're from here and you're from there and this is what you are. So it's like they got over on you twice. The first time when they, you know, did that to your ancestors, the second time for you paying for a bunch of baloney. That's how I take it. That's how I take it. So, and then all the wordplay with if you do halftime and you stand up, I mean, it's just like, wow. You're just like, this was really an amazing track. And if you guys have any more, or just put it all in the comments, because this was 6 minutes of just pure bars on top of bars. I know that he was happy doing this, and it probably took a lot out of him, but I know after this it was like a gigantic purge left him, because I mean, this is just a lot. Okay, love you guys. We'll see what's next.